let's get to our features. I'm going to personally apologize to Bruce Purkey because I want to start off with the one movie I really wanted to see this week, and I didn't get to it, and I am absolutely depressed that I didn't get to it. It's a movie called The Marsh King's Daughter. Bruce, the reason why I'm depressed is this feels like a movie that I would completely love. It centers on a woman named Helena, played by Daisy Ridley. She is confronting her father. He's known as the Marsh King, played, I'm assume, in menacing form by Ben Mendelsohn. If you know, Ben Mendelsohn has been in so many films, and he has a varied career, but I still remember him, and I'm still scared when I think of his character in Animal Kingdom. This feels like a menacing role for Ben Mendelsohn. We'll see. I looked at the trailer. It looks interesting. The Marsh King's Daughter, directed by Limitless filmmaker Neil Berger, and Berger also did The Illusionist with Edward Norton, a movie that I feel is underrated. The Marsh King's Daughter opens Friday, it's rated R, runs at 108 minutes. The trailer looks like it's going to be pure genrefied. I don't even know if the word trash, but just genrefied escapism. That's why I'm so excited to see if this movie lives up to my expectations. Bruce, take it away. Please tell me something good or maybe guilty pleasure about this movie or not.
I think your take on it is probably a good way to approach this movie, and I guess fun will vary depending on how you like those kind of movies, for sure. I'll give you the basic setup, and I don't think it's a spoiler to kind of say the basic setup because I think it's the kind of the premise of the whole movie, and that is it starts out with a young girl. She's the daughter of the Marsh King, and they're living kind of off the grid. And the young girls, you look it up for me. It's the young version of Daisy Ridley, and it's the girl from the Florida Project. I can never remember her name, but
I'll look it up. Yeah,
she plays young Helena, right? And as the movie starts, her dad is kind of showing her the ropes of living like kind of this wild life, you know, how to hunt and how to do all these things. And in fact, they're going on a hunt together. And when she does successful things, he tattoos her. So she gets a tattoo of her first kill. She said like a tattoo of a deer on her neck and all this kind of stuff.
Brooklyn Prince,
thank you. So, and she's playing that role. The mom is kind of there, just like living sort of in this cabin, and they're in the woods, and you kind of get the feeling like they've just chosen to live this alternate lifestyle. And you're not sure what time period it takes place in, but you get the feeling that they're probably in, actually, it might even say at the beginning, but they're living in semi-modern times. This takes place basically, I don't know, 10 or 12, 15 years, I forget what it is, before most of the movie, right? The inciting incident is they're living this life, things are happening. And then out of the blue, some dude pulls up in a four-wheeler, right? And he's like, hey, sorry to get in your area here. And, you know, I just kind of lost track of where I was at. Helena is there to greet him, and she looks a little confused, and she's not sure what to say. And he's near their cabin. The dad is away, currently hunting or something, I forget. And the mom, who you've basically heard nothing from this whole beginning 10 minutes or so of the movie, runs out of the cabin and says, help us, save us. He's got us here. Get us out of here. Save us. And until then, you're supposed to think that, oh, they're living this life willingly. And all of a sudden, you know they are not. And out of the blue, Mendelsohn, you know, shoots the guy and all hell breaks loose. And so begins the story. Flash forward. I'm not going to say all the things that happen there, but basically you flash forward and Daisy Ridley is now a grown-up Helena, had been living without her dad. Her dad has been in prison, and she's kind of adjusted to normal life. No surprise, he will reinsert himself one way or another into her life, and that'll be the predominant part of the movie is how does she deal with this father and this former life kind of encroaching upon her seemingly normal life that most people don't know about her history at all. And that's kind of the setup of this movie. I think if you take it the approach that you did, Greg, kind of think of it as kind of a genre, trashy, sort of like an elevated Lifetime movie, that kind of a thing, I think you'll have a pretty good time with this. My biggest problem with the movie is that it's nearly 2 hours, and the first 20 or 30 minutes, probably 20 minutes or so, that basically is all that stuff I was just talking about leading up to essentially his incarceration. That stuff is all pretty interesting and pretty good world building. Even though you might have some questions of logic, this kind of movie doesn't rely on logic too well. And the last 30 minutes, which is the denouement of the possible conflict between the two, the mom and the daughter and father, that stuff is pretty fun. Very illogical, and it will drive you crazy if you want to be logical, because I definitely had some moments where I'm like, oh no, what? Huh? What's happening there? But if you kind of let yourself go, it's fun enough. The problem I have with this movie overall is the middle hour, because the problem with the middle hour of this movie is, with this kind of movie, you know what this movie's about, right? This movie is about dad's coming back. Daughter has to face this. Daughter has to face this in her normal life. What will happen? Let's just get right to that. And they don't. It takes quite a while to finally get to that face off, and you're just waiting for it. You know it's coming, so it's kind of it's a lot of spinning the wheels in the middle for me, I guess I would say.
So wait,
One
that.
of
Oh, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I was gonna point out one of the writers to the Marsh King's Daughter wrote Vacancy, Joe Dante's The Hole, The Revenant, Overlord, Midnight Sky. This where does this stand like within?
Pretty low on that list, I would say. I mean, I haven't seen all those, but Overlord I like better. What was the other ones Revenant, obviously, I'd like that better.
Yeah,
I think
there's Martyrs, but I think it's a remake one.
Yeah, probably. And I haven't seen the remake, but I kind of know the basic story there. Yeah, I feel like this could definitely be tightened up. This feels like it's probably beholden to a book. I don't know if it's based on a book, but it feels like it's based on a book. And I bet you if they didn't have the book to rely on, once again, it's a guess, I bet you some of the stuff in the middle would have been cut out and it would have been tightened up in just a straight genre thriller.
Based on a book by Karen Dion.
There you go.
Or Dione.
Good job, Eric. But Bruce, you're saying that whole middle, that 1 hour, is pretty much a waste. It's just a waste. Not even world building.
I mean, I know it's there and it's character stuff and everything, but you just feel like you're waiting for them. You're waiting for stuff to happen between the two. That's all you're waiting for. I mean, it's almost like they play it out as if it's like a mystery. Like, is he around still? What's he doing? But you know the answer. So so you're just like, why are we not getting to the meat of this story? The story is her facing her father and how it impacts her life. So let's just make that happen. And yeah, it doesn't feel like it gets there in a timely manner. For me, I probably come down at like 3 stars. Like, it gave me enough fun that I didn't hate myself for watching it, but it feels like this could have been a movie that could have been 3-star banger and or 3.5, 4 stars. This could have been super fun genre piece, and it had all of the ingredients. You know what I mean? Like, have all the ingredients, and it's like, I got an okay meal. You know.
Daisy Ridley, her as a lead, how did she fare outside of that Star Wars universe, going toe to toe with Ben Mendelsohn? How did you feel about that?
She seemed fine. I didn't dislike her. I didn't feel like she was blowing me away. Honestly, I feel like the young version of her kind of blew her out of the water, honestly, as far as charisma and acting. And I could have stayed in that world longer because I think she kind of stole it as far as the same character. But I didn't hate Daisy Ridley. I liked her all right.
Okay, Bruce, so that is the Marsh King's Daughter.